Reno. You're watching 2 News at 5:30.
He made the supreme sacrifice. He gave his life for the cause.
The Northern Nevada community honors Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. today. How it showed support is tonight's 2 News big story at 5:30, and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. would have turned 90 years old this month. I'm Landon Miller.
And I'm Kristen Remington. Thanks for keeping it here. More than 5 decades after his untimely death, his message still resonates loud and clearly. Elizabeth Olvera joins us here in the studio with more. And Liz, Northern Nevadans are helping to keep that message alive.
Yeah, Kristen, there were several events going on today to remember the late Dr. King's dream, from days of service to prayer to meaningful discussions.
This community was all gravel road, no lights.
Reverend Don Butler Sr. remembers his North Reno community back in the 60s.
For many years, this was the only place that Afro-Americans could live. They could not own property in the city limits.
For some, it's a painful history from not too long ago.
Entertainers such as Sammy Davis Jr. would go down and perform at Bessie Beck's Riverside or the Mapes, but they were not allowed to stay in the hotels.
But it's a different story today. His church sits right next door to Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial Park.
This was the only Martin Luther King Memorial Park in the state.
And it was here that community members held a day of service with education and a cleanup, taking time to reflect.
Commemorates what happens when a community comes together, what they can accomplish.
Across town, the Boys and Girls Club and the Northern Nevada Black Cultural Awareness Society held a march and discussion. Guest speakers included the 2 women who documented and shared the video of 2 black men arrested at a Philadelphia Starbucks last year. They highlighted Dr. King's message to speak up in times of injustice.
Pain and frustration, issues around racism, and so it's important that our students know that their voice matters.
Meanwhile, inspirational song and prayer filled the room at the 33rd Reno Sparks NAACP MLK commemoration.
Keep standing up, speaking out.
By remembering Dr. Martin Luther King, listening to some of his speech, listening to some of his words can help facilitate us moving forward.
It ended in the 21st MLK Highway Caravan to honor the man whose message, many say, is an important reminder still today.
There are those that are still against Afro-Americans. They just don't wear the white hoods. They still wear suits now.
It looks like we're going back. So we have to make sure that we keep going forward, moving forward.
His legacy will live on. I don't think his legacy will ever die.
Now, the day of commemoration isn't over just yet. In fact, the Northern Nevada Black Cultural Awareness Society's annual MLK dinner is starting right now at the Atlantis, and we'll have more on that coming up tonight at 11 o'clock. Covering the big story live in the studio, Elizabeth Olvera, 2 News.